Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Melissa and I just love makeup. I enjoy talking about all things beauty. Sometimes I throw a little bit of lifestyle things in here and there. And I do upload a video every single Monday and Wednesday, so if you're into beauty stuff, then be sure to stay around. So for today's video, what we're gonna do is go over my entire monthly makeup routine. I love doing these videos at the end of every month to let you know how all the products performed and whether I'm gonna keep or declutter them. So at the beginning of every single month, I go through my entire collection, I pick through everything, and I pick the products that I wanna use. I pick maybe one or two things from each category, and I use those products every single day for the entire month. And at the end of the month, I finally have a good evaluation of how everything worked for me, and I'm here to tell you how they all worked. And as I tell you about all the products, I'm gonna also apply them on my face so you get a good idea of how each one looks as well. So before we get started, I'm gonna tell you what I have on my face and what we're gonna get started with. So right on my face, I have a little mini skincare routine. And it's not really essential that you put on skincare before your makeup, but I have a lot of skincare that kind of goes through my collection. So in order for me to go through it and use it up, I do like to apply a specific skincare routine right before I apply my makeup. So here's what I've been using. First, I put on some eye cream and I just cracked into this one today. This is from Fresh. And then after I put on an eye cream, I go into a face serum. And the one I've been using lately is from Sulwhasoo. And then after I put on that treatment, I dip into a moisturizer, and this one's from Kat Berkey Skincare. And then my last step of the skincare routine is always a facial oil, and this one's from Biossance. I have a ton of these little mini samples of oil, so I've been really trying to work through them, and you would be surprised how long these little ones last. So that's a really good tip, guys. If you want to make it through your skincare products, definitely apply some before you put on some makeup. It really makes your skin nice and approachable, so all the makeup sits really nicely on top. And the other two things I have is my microfiber towel that I use. I just keep one of these around whenever I need to clean off my brush or wipe something up that I spilled. And then I always keep a pack of makeup wipes. I really like to use the biodegradable ones, but I just picked these up at Dollar Tree and they were only $1, so they're not really good, but they do work. So guys, the first thing that I always do is put on my base product. So the first product is from Juno & Co, and this is their priming moisturizer. In fact, it's called the Moonshine Miracle Cream. And it's a really large chunky container, and I always keep this little plastic piece on to keep it fresh, and I used up about half of it this month. And I always like to take a little separate spatula and dig into it this way, just so I don't really get all my germs inside of it. And the way I like to apply this is I put it into the palm of my hand, and I kind of disperse it between both hands, and I press it into my face. And guys, my thoughts on this primer is that it is an absolutely beautiful product. I'll tell you, I will leave that packaging. The packaging is super bulky and really annoying to store. But as for this primer, it is a fantastic primer. It really gives my skin the most perfect amount of hydration, and it really does some nice blurring as well. And my most favorite part about this primer is that it just has the most delightful smell. And every time I apply it, I just get that really joyful experience, and I look forward to it every time. So I'm gonna be keeping this in my collection, and in fact, this will be going on my repurchase list, and I will always keep this in my collection because I really do enjoy using this. My next and final base product is from Lancome, and the name of this is in French, and I never took French, so I don't know how to say anything, but it's essentially their eye base. And it comes in this really nice fancy glass jar, and I use about half of this product as well. And what this is it's kind of like a MAC paint pot. You could either dip your finger in and apply it to your eyelid with your finger, but I like to take a really thick brush and go into the product with a brush and build some on the bristles. And then I just like to dab this onto my eye area. When I apply it with a brush, it doesn't get too thick and cakey, and it just makes a really nice base layer. I do really enjoy this primer because it does do some color correcting, and something else interesting about this one is it does kind of give a little shimmery off-put. So you can even kind of wear this on its own if you wanted to pull off a really subtle makeup look. I think it's just gorgeous. Every time I've applied eyeshadow on top of this, it has turned out so wonderful. My eyeshadows never crease, and this has just overall performed wonderfully. So guys, I'm going to be keeping this eyeshadow base in my collection for a little while. I do have some life left in it, and I have really been enjoying using this, so I'm going to try to get some more use out of it before it does go bad. For the last step of my base, I have a little lip prep step from Private Society Cosmetics, and this is their Shine and Plump Lip Cover. Essentially, it's just a plumping lip gloss in a clear shade. I don't know if you can see this in my camera, but I did use quite a bit of this over the month, and it has a really basic doe foot applicator. And mine's kind of discolored because I did end up using this over some other lip products, and I did try to wipe it off, but it didn't wipe off super cleanly. So I'm gonna apply this to both my lips, and then I'll tell you how I feel about this. The thing with this is when you start applying this, you have to re-dip in the tube several times because this doe foot does not pick up a lot of product. And here's lip gloss on, and overall, I just enjoy it. As soon as you apply this to your lips, you'll notice a really intense cooling sensation across your entire lip area, but I don't find it uncomfortable, and I also don't find any really significant plumping effects either. Over the course of the month, I always keep the lip gloss with me on my person, so I'm a lip gloss person. I always like to apply it, and I found myself not really wanting to apply this one. It just didn't really excite me, and I found it kind of boring. I don't hate it though, I just like it, and I'm not gonna keep it in my collection because just liking a product isn't enough to warrant itself amongst all my other products. So I will be decluttering this. Okay, so now we're ready to move on to our foundation concealing products. And I'm gonna show you both of them because I'm gonna put these on in an odd order today. So I have the BH Studio Pro Total Coverage Concealer, and I also have the By Terry Nude Expert Duo Stick. This is my foundation and this is my concealer. Normally I would apply my foundation first and conceal after, but when I use a stick concealer, I always find the best effect is when I apply my concealer beforehand. So this concealer dispenses by squeezing it, and it has a little plastic applicator that you can swipe it across your under eye area. And I'm just gonna apply a little bit to my under eye area, and then I'm also gonna apply some to any noticeable spots on my face. To blend out my face concealer, I'm gonna take a really long flat brush, and this is just a Wet n Wild brush, and I love the way this works for face concealing. And if you want to talk about full coverage, this concealer is where it's at. I don't think I have a concealer in my collection that's more full coverage than this, honestly. Truth be told, this is not my correct shade, and I am definitely aware of that, but it's alright, we'll get it to work in the end. And for under my eyes, I'm going to take this Rare Beauty brush. This is my favorite concealer brush, hands down. I love it. I do think I applied way too much concealer under my eyes, so I'm going to dip my brush into it and kind of disperse it under my eye, then wipe my brush off so all that extra product just erases itself. And then I'm gonna blend the rest of this out. This concealer legitimately just erases any problem area on your face. Okay guys, now that that wrong shade concealer is applied all over my face and evenly distributed, I'm gonna go into my By Terry foundation stick. And let me show you something cool about this foundation stick. I don't know if you can see this correctly through the camera, but there is two different sides of foundation tones in here, and one side has a bit of shimmer to it. And on the opposite side of this foundation stick, there's a little sponge. And another cool thing is this sponge completely removes from the stick so you can easily wash it. So since we already have that base layer of concealer down, I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this foundation stick. I really like to make sure to get my foundation stick up here by my temples because I think a lot of people miss that area. And now I just take a pretty loosely packed brush and give all this a good blend. Okay, so now by applying those two products, I got completely full coverage going on right now. Now let's talk a little bit about these products. The concealer, I love the coverage. I think it's super easy to work with. It doesn't dry super fast, so you have plenty of time to work with it. But there are some cons about this. First thing is it's not available anymore, so this is not super accessible anymore. And then when I did try to apply this on top of my foundation, it looks super heavy and cakey. So this is definitely a product you have to be careful with, and one that you would have to apply before any foundation. And another thing that I'm not crazy about with this is its method of dispensing. I find that when I squeeze it and apply it onto my under eye, I put on entirely too much. I just definitely prefer a doe foot applicator so I can really control the amount that I apply. So for those reasons, I will be decluttering this. Now, for this By Terry foundation stick, this has been super impressive throughout this month. And to be frankly honest, my favorite thing about this is the way it smells. It is super incredibly highly scented, like some type of floral scent, and I can't tell you how much I've been enjoying that for some reason. Like I always say, it just enhances the experience for me. I also find that I don't need to apply a ton of this, and I could really control my coverage level. If I don't conceal before, I could just put on a light layer and get light to medium coverage, but I can also intensely build this up and get some pretty high coverage as well. And I do enjoy the finish of this. I think it looks really lifelike and it also looks really good in pictures. A significant con to this is that it is really expensive and you're not getting a lot of product for the money, but you can frequently find this at discount stores and save a ton of money on it and still get to experience the luxury. Okay guys, so now we're ready to move into the cream product section of this video, and I have 3 cream products. I got a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight. So my first product is kind of confusing. This is from Illamasqua, and this is called their Gel Sculpt. So when I first got this, I wasn't sure if it was a contouring or a bronzing product, but the more that I've been using this over the month, I found it's definitely more of a bronzing product. It's in the shade called Shadow, so at first I was using this like a contour, but it definitely didn't sit right on me. So when I started using this as a bronzing product, it started looking a lot better, and I've gotten so much more use out of it. I always keep the little cap on mine to keep it from drying out so fast. And here's what the product looks like. It's a very, very dark stick. It's a little scary just looking at this because there's no way that this looks like it's gonna work on my skin tone, but I swear to you, this does. Something odd that I want to mention about this is if you smell this, it has a very fragrant rose smell. I can't say I'm super crazy about it, but it really doesn't bother me because I don't smell it when I'm applying it onto my cheek area. So I'm gonna apply this to my cheek the way I would apply a cream bronzing product. And now I'm going to take a flat, dense brush and immediately blend this out. The trick with this bronzing stick is you have to apply it and immediately, and I mean quickly, blend it out. If you don't do that, it'll stain your skin and be very difficult to work. So regarding this contour stick, it's a very finicky product and it can be quite confusing to use, but I am going to keep this in my collection and continue using it because I've really enjoyed it, to be honest with you. I do not think this is suitable for beginners, but if you want somewhat of a intermediate product that will be kind of a challenge to use, highly recommend this. Now for our next product, we're gonna dip into a cream blush, and this is kind of a weird brand. It's called Fusion Brands America Inc., and this is their cream blush in the shade Crave. So here's what the packaging looks like. It's super cute. It has a little pot on the bottom and a flippy lid, and there's a little mirror on the inside. And your cream blush is just housed right in the center, all cute and stuff. And this kind of has a really bouncy, air-light feel to it. And I found that this blush applies any way that you want to use it. My favorite way is to take a brush and dip into it, swirl it, and apply with my brush. But I've also applied this with my fingers and a sponge just perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to the area that I applied blush to so you can see the color. It's a very light pink tone, but it does kind of have an iridescent, almost gold shift to it. I just cleaned off my brush and now I'm gonna give that a good blend. And when I blend this out, I have no issues whatsoever. It doesn't patch, it doesn't lift my products. It is such a really nice formula. And something else that I really have been enjoying about this blush is that even if I do give it a really, really good blend, you can still see the color. It doesn't blend away. So I picked up this blush on some third-party seller from Walmart.com. And like I said, I've been enjoying it this month, but there are 2 cons to this. Firstly, I don't find the color anything unique to what is in my collection already. I just personally think I could duplicate the shade very easily with other things that I have. And the second thing, and the most annoying thing about this, is that this is impossible for me to open. Every time I need to open this blush, I have to get up, leave my area, go find my husband, ask him to open this, and then come back and be on my way to apply it. It is so inconvenient that I just cannot stand this packaging anymore, and for that reason, I am going to declutter this. Now for the cream highlight. We are moving in to my most favorite product of this month. This product blew my mind this month. I am so entranced by this. This is from the brand About Face, and this is called their Light Lock Highlight Fluid. The packaging itself is just mind-blowing. When you take off the cap, you do have a little squeeze tube. This does come in a little dropper style applicator. So here's what that looks like. You know, you just apply how many drops you want to a certain area. And I'll tell you, I use this month as a sole body highlight when I wanted to highlight my upper body. I use this as a primer mix-in, I use this as a foundation mix-in, and I also use this as a liquid highlight on my high points of my face. And no matter which way I use this, it looks so beautiful. I cannot even explain to you. I would buy this several times over. If this was in my collection, I would be sad. This is easily, hands down, one of the most beautiful highlights in my entire collection. So let's quit talking about it and go on applying it. So I'm just going to take a little bit from the dropper and apply it to the palm of my hand. I'm just literally taking the smallest amount. And I'm going to take my little angled highlight brush and barely get the bristles in there. And then just dip this onto my face 3 times. You can see how bright that looks in the camera, right? But when I take my brush and blend this out, I just can't believe how beautiful this looks. So here's what the highlight looks like. I'm turning my head so you can see that bling. I think it's absolutely stunning. And makeup's supposed to enhance your natural beauty, and that's exactly what this product does. You can wear this on bare skin, you can wear this on full glam, and it's going to enhance any look. Like I said, this is my most favorite product that I have discovered this month, and I am so mesmerized by it. Look how easily that blends out. It's like I don't have to do any work. So yeah guys, there's no large chunky particles in this, and it's really kind of baseless. It really just lets your skin shine through, and it's so beautiful. If you are looking for a multi-use product that you can really do for mix-ins or just apply just on its own, this is the one. Next, we're going to take my setting powder of the month, and this is the original Coty Airspun. And my only gripe about this powder is just how messy it is. You can't make it through your makeup without getting a load of powder all over you. So I just poured some in my cap, and I'm going to take my really floppy powder brush and just kind of dip that in there. And since we did a lot of cream products, I'm just going to do a light layer around my T-zone. If you've heard about this Coty Airspun powder, then you know that it's super highly scented. Hey, also, you probably know that I love fragrance, so I kind of like how it smells. It smells kind of like Noxzema almost. When I smell this, it just reminds me of the entire makeup application process. I kind of just find it really nostalgic. Not to mention the powder itself is just a beautiful powder. When I'm setting my face, I always like to take a little powder through my eyebrows because it just sets them before you go in with your brow products. So no doubt am I going to keep this. This one in specific is in translucent extra coverage. They sell different types of powders. I like this one because it's thicker, cakier. I just love how this looks. Okay guys, now we're moving into our powder face products. First thing I'm gonna do real quick is take my contouring powder and just contour up my face really quick. This isn't one of my monthly makeup products. This is just the one I use every single month, no matter what other products I pick. Now for our first monthly makeup powder product, we have this bronzer from Fenty Beauty. I have mine in the shade Shady Biz. I know you guys have seen this around. This is such a popular bronzer, and for the right reasons too. This is an absolutely stunning powder product. It is so smooth, and I have never experienced any problems while working with this bronzer. This bronzer instantly warms up my skin. I've had no issues with this. I look forward to applying this, and I've had great success while using this. And I just want to throw a quick reminder out there. My makeup look today is not going to match, and I'm super heavily applying it. And I'm just applying it so heavily so you guys can see how it looks and what the colors are actually like. My next product is going to be a bit difficult to show you because it is shattered to bits. This is from Kimchi Chic Beauty, and this is their blush duo. Here's the best I could do to show you. Mine's in the shade 05 Peachy. So this powder blush is super pigmented. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this powder onto my blush brush, tap it off for sure, and then I'm just going to put this in my little blush spot. See how pigmented that is? And I just use a little tiny bit of powder. I quickly wiped off my brush so I could blend this out. So guys, this is an excellent blush. It's really pretty, but this can be kind of difficult to work with if you're not really sure on how to apply blush. I think this can be quite dangerous because you can really go overboard with this and it doesn't come off easily. So I'm gonna keep this product in my collection because I really want to fix it, and I want to see if there's any difference in how it works after I press it. And my last powder product is from Benefit, and this is the single cookie highlighter. And you guys know that I'm gonna be keeping this baby. Benefit really nailed it when they made this a single product. As soon as this launched, I quickly ordered it because I just had to find out how great this was. I feel so lucky to have this in my collection. This is so exciting for me to use, and I'm so glad I picked this month because I have really enjoyed every time I've applied this. Now to set all this heavy makeup in place, I'm going to be using this Tarte Stay Spray. So my consensus on this spray is don't buy it. This spray is not cheap at all, and when I spray it, it's like a squirt gun. I have done everything to try to unclog this little spray nozzle, and nothing has worked, and every time I use this, I get so upset because it almost ruins my makeup. It does kind of smell like old school medicine, so it's kind of a pleasant fragrance, but I wouldn't say that this is worth the trouble that I've been going through. So for that reason, I'm decluttering this. Alright guys, I moved you a little closer because we're on to brows now, and I really want you to see how these brow products work. So I got three things. I got a Maybelline pencil, I got the ABH brow gel, and then I got a Wet n Wild pomade. I have used all three of these products in all sorts of different ways. I've told you plenty of times that I really like to change up my eyebrow color, so I don't really get the same brow color that I would naturally use. I get all sorts of different colors. Sometimes I like to have red eyebrows, sometimes I like to do a black color, sometimes I like to have natural ones. So I'm gonna start with this brow pencil, and I'm gonna use a spoolie and brush my brows upward. My brows could really go for a nice trim right now, but I've been way too lazy to do that, so I really need to get on that. And now if you look at the tip of this pencil, you'll see that it's a micro tip. I like all sorts of brow pencils, but these are the easiest to create a straight line. So to do that, I'm going to start in the middle of my eyebrow, and I'm going to work on creating a line underneath my eyebrow, just following its natural shape. And once I finish the entire underline, then I go into the front and just do really light upward strokes, just so it looks a little bit fuller in the front. So guys, this pencil works fantastic, and I think if you're looking for something similar to the ABH Brow Wiz, this is a fantastic dupe pencil that you can find at the drugstore. So I'm going to keep this in my collection for a little while longer. I don't have very much product left in it, but I do have a little teeny bit, and I want to get some use out of that. Next, I'm going to go into this Wet n Wild pomade, and I have mine in the shade Espresso. So this is really cool because you take off this little top right here, and you flip it around, and plug it in, and that becomes your brush. So then you unscrew this top, and your pomade's in this little pot right here, and then you just dip your brush in to get the product. And I've used this pomade in multiple ways, like I said, throughout this month, and the way I'm going to use it today is just to coat this outer portion of my eyebrow. Regarding this, I really love this so much, but mine's kind of getting old. So I'm going to put this on my repurchase list, so whenever I need a pomade in the future, I'm going to grab this one again. But as for now, I'm just going to get rid of this. And my last product is this little Dip Brow Gel by ABH. With this, I like to go on the front part of my brow that I didn't put the pomade in and spike these hairs up a little bit. And this brow gel really does a great job of defining each hair. So this has been my monthly eyebrow routine, and I forgot to tell you, I used up half of this pomade, and I used up all of this brow gel. This is completely gone, so I'm also going to be getting rid of this, and I will be putting this on my repurchase list if I ever need a future brow gel. Now we're ready to move on to eyes, and for eyeshadow I got two things. I got this big palette from BH Cosmetics, and this is their Christmas edition Naughty palette. This is no longer available, but you can pry this out of my cold dead hands. This is one of my most favorite palettes in my entire collection. Here's what it looks like on the inside, and I am crazy about this palette. Over the course of the month, I came up with some crazy, interesting looks with this one. And for my second eyeshadow product, I have this Liquid Shadow Duo from the Beauty Crop. So I'm going to do a base shade with the palette, and then I'm going to put on probably the shimmery shade from the Beauty Crop. So I just went in with this color called Santa Baby for just a base shade, and this palette is so fun. Like I said, I will never get rid of this palette. I had such a great time creating all the looks throughout the month, and the shadows work so perfectly. I think this is one of the best things BH Cosmetics has ever came out with. Now I'm going to take the metallic side of this eyeshadow duo, and I'm going to apply this part to my lid. So here's that liquid eyeshadow on, and I can't tell you how much I enjoy this. I've used both the matte and the metallics plenty of times throughout the month, and they've always looked really pretty. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and keep this around. Now, if there's another thing that impressed me this month, it would be this Luna by Luna Cosmetics eyeliner. This looks like a very pretty sky blue. Let me swatch it for you. There's the color. When you apply this into your waterline, it almost pools like an off-white. So this does a great job of really opening up the eye and creating some more space. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this into my waterline. So I am certainly keeping this around. And the last thing for the eyes is this Big Bang mascara by Aether Beauty. And let me apply this and then I'll tell you all about it. So here's the mascara on, and I'll tell you what, I had my good time with this mascara, but I'm going to get rid of this. This mascara does everything well, but it takes a lot of work to get there. It is one of the most wettest, most messiest mascaras, and I always get smudges from it when I apply it. I will say it does wear really nice. I don't get any flaking or any day-long smudges from it. It just wears really nicely until I take it off at the end of the day. I really enjoyed how this made my lashes look, and I've had my time with it, but I am ready to pass this on. Now guys, we have 3 products left and they're all for lips. So for this month, I chose one of each color that I have. I got a pink lipstick, a red lipstick, and a nude lipstick. I'm gonna apply the pink to my top lip, the red to my bottom lip, and then I'll center everything with this at the end. This pink one is from JD Glow, and I'm gonna apply this one first. So there's the pink color. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this because it does smell off, so I think it's really old and time to go. Now let's go in with this red Color Stay Satin ink from Revlon, and I got mine in the shade Partner in Wine. So here's the red color on my bottom, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. It is gorgeous. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply this L'Oreal Infallible liquid lipstick in the light chocolate scented one in the middle of both of these and smear everything together. So here's the actual shade of the lipstick if you're curious, but it really just lightened both of those up, and this is the final color that I ended up with. And I have loved this lipstick. It's such an odd color, and I love that it smells like chocolate, so I am going to keep this. So yeah guys, here's my entire makeup look using all the products that I picked out from my collection this month. If you've ever used or currently use any of these products I talked about today, let me know what you think about them in the comments below. But with that, that is all I have for you today. So if you liked this video, please give me a giant thumbs up. And if you didn't like this video, hit that thumbs down button. And until next time,